Looking for music that lifts your spirit and fills your heart? Experience the powerful sound of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. Now streaming on all your favorite music platforms. Find the Tabernacle Choir on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Pandora. Let the music of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square inspire you today and every day. Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the go, enjoy the beauty of their world-renowned sound anytime. The Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, streaming now.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Tonight, Real Salt Lake hosts Inter Miami. Messi makes his Utah appearance, 7:30. The action begins pregame at 6:30 here on 97.5 The Zone. We're joined right now by Real Salt Lake's Chief Soccer Officer, Kurt Schmid. Kurt, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. So I'm curious, do you just hide out in the office and make yourself inaccessible, or are you moving around town? Are people hitting you up for tickets? Are the calls coming in, your phone buzzing? People want to find a way to get into the big game?
Yeah, there are a lot of people trying to find a way in, but it's a tough get at the moment. Today is a little busy. There's a few people in town, but yeah, overall, I'm usually more of I usually try to keep to myself a little more on game day. So I'll try to get to that as much as I can today. But there are a few more people in town for sure.
With elevation and crowd, it has been understood that RSL had a pretty good home field advantage for many, many years, obviously. Now, this might be a little different. Will that be weird? Because you might get some folks, as you just say, are coming in to see one player and might be prone to cheer for him.
Yeah, I think we'll have to see how that goes. But I do think, we've got a lot of fans that are going to come here to see us play and see us win and succeed and do well and get behind us when we do succeed. And I think no matter who a crowd comes to see, I think soccer crowds usually like to see a team that plays well and puts a good display on and can excite them and create chances to score goals. And we've been able to do that. And so I don't think that's a big bug in the back of my head in any way. But I do have I'm excited to see the big crowd come out, and I know that's going to be a buzz in the air for the guys. I mean, not to go off topic too much or on a tangent, but I remember, when I was in Seattle when they started up and, we had a big crowd there in Seattle every game, and we almost felt it was to our detriment because even though they were fans of our team, the other team almost got up more for it because it energized them. And so, I think just being able to put a show on in front of that many people, even if, not 100% of them might be there in support, it's always going to be extra motivational for the guys.
I got to say, watching from a distance, I didn't think Miami was off to a great start. And then I took a little closer look. It's like this has been a really road-heavy schedule. So although their record and point total aren't awesome, when you factor in the road, it actually is pretty good. They haven't been great in their two home games, so that's a little bit of a problem here in their start. But do you still view them with Messi as one of the top teams in the league? Is everybody looking over their shoulder at them, even though they're not sitting on top of the standings right now?
I mean, I think when you've got special players on your team of the caliber that they have, then I don't think it really matters what the run of form is, to be honest with you, because they've got players that can do something at any moment, and whatever happened before that, whether in that game or in the last three games, is irrelevant to that. And then you throw on top of that the coaching situation and that change, then really you can just throw the form out the window, I think, for this one and really just start fresh. And so I don't think that's a big concern. I don't think the road thing. Yeah, they had a road heavy schedule because they were building a stadium, and but even coming home didn't really save them either, right? They didn't get those good results back home when they got there. So at the end of the day, it's about 22 guys on the field and competing to win the game.
So one other thing about their form before I let that go, because I'm hard-headed. They've scored a lot of goals, but, man, they've given up 14 goals already in their first 8 games. And RSL also scores a lot of goals. They've given up 10 goals so far. And these clubs just played in their respective games, 3-2 and 4-2 games on the weekend. Are you expecting a lot of goals tonight?
I would say there should be goals. Absolutely. I think our group feels very confident that we're going to score goals, not a goal, but goals. And so, I think there's going to be goals in this game, and I hope I hope we're the only team scoring them. But if that doesn't turn out to be the case, I have confidence that we'll have the offense to score enough goals to get the result.
One of the keys to RSL scoring goals has been Morgan Guilavogui, who has just scored his first goal in the most recent game. But Pablo has consistently praised him for the decisions he makes, the way he's played. Pablo has been very impressed with his play. And when he spoke to the media, he said the conversations about coming to the United States actually go back several years, but when he was younger, he just wasn't ready to make that big a move, even though he wanted to move around and live different places. He didn't want to go to the other side of the world at a younger age. I'm curious when he was first on your radar and how long you worked on acquiring him before he finally made the jump here.
Morgan, it was about almost 2 years ago now. It was middle of 24 season that was the window when we first tried to bring him in. But obviously started scouting him a good amount before that. But he's someone, and I think he's doing it right now. But we thought was a versatile player that could contribute in a lot of different ways for us. And someone I used to work with would use this phrase, and I haven't always loved it, but the more I watch Morgan, I think it applies to him. But he really looks like a force multiplier when he's on the field. And, I think to dumb that down a little bit, it's just like he makes everyone else around him better. He does the simple thing, the obvious thing, which, is not always so obvious, but he does the simple, efficient thing that is the right decision in the moment. And it isn't always the flashiest play or the most attention grabbing, but it is often the most productive and effective. And, you look at, obviously he scored a goal. It was a great goal. But you look at our second goal on the day, and his ball that he plays out to Luna was massive in terms of opening up the game. His movement in moments, even when he doesn't get the ball, creates space for others. So, he has a ton of quality on his own, and he's able to create chances, to get assists, to score goals. But the other thing that he does is he makes it just that much easier for everyone else to be productive and be effective as well.
Messi's 7 goals is tied for second in the league. RSL is led by Sergei Solans, who has 5 goals, which is tied for 8th in the league. And he is notable because he was playing college soccer last year. He played at Oregon State and UCLA. How does a player make that kind of jump and make that kind of impact?
Honestly, it's not the easiest thing to assess. It's not the most obvious quality in a player, but it is the most valuable quality for a player to have, is this ability to adapt and adjust to new levels quickly. And it's something, when I was in Seattle again, we drafted Christian Roldan, who had this, where he just adapted very quickly. Jordan Morris was the same in Salt Lake, picked up guys like Emeka Eneli and Jasper Lolfison. It's one of the qualities that Gozo has exhibited as he's moved his way through the ranks in our academy. And Sergi looks like he's doing it as well. And, I think one of the biggest things that's aided him, beyond some of the obvious things, like his work rate is excellent. Obviously he's shown some good finishing ability as well, but it's his soccer IQ. It's not just about how hard he's working, which he is one of the hardest workers on the team, but it's also how smart he works. And when you combine those two things, it just becomes really, really effective.
Oh, last thing, DeAndre Yedlin actually played with Messi in Miami. He was captain there. There's a thing about them winning and hoisting the trophy together, and he's trying to give the armband back, and Yedlin doesn't want it. Is there an advantage to having played with him when you're trying to defend him, or he's a magician and everybody has just got to do the best they can and good luck?
I mean, I think in terms of, quality, I don't know that there's an advantage. And, I think he is, of such a level that, he can do things that very, very few, if any, other players can do. So from that standpoint, I don't know if there's an advantage, but there is there can be a mental advantage in guys that have played with or against him before, especially multiple times. I think, you at least you shouldn't have this awe factor where you're maybe giving too much respect, or you need to adjust to like the idea of what's happening before you can actually just get down to business and play your game like any other game. So I would expect DeAndre to approach this like any other game, because it's not a new experience for him to share a field with that player, and so it's not going to be a new experience for him, and I can't imagine he'll be overawed by it.
Yeah. Well, Kurt, we appreciate a few minutes. You got people in town, you got people you got to talk to and deal with, and you got ticket requests you have to turn down. So good luck with that.
Happy to deal with you, DJ. No problem.
All right. Thanks, Kurt.
All right.
Kurt Schmid, Chief Soccer Officer for Real Salt Lake. It's Messi at RSL tonight, 7:30. First kick. You can hear the game on 97.5 The Zone. To be on 1280 The Zone.